They say there was once a village at the edge of the world where thunder walked like a living thing. Children grew up counting lightning like fireflies. Mountains trembled when storms passed, and every home was built low to the ground so the wind could not steal it away. In that village lived a hunter named Kaelo. He was quiet, but the world inside him was loud. He moved like someone who was always listening, not to the earth, but to his own heartbeats. People trusted him. Animals feared him. And Kaelo feared only one thing: the sound of a child crying. One evening, as the sun slid behind black clouds, Kaelo returned from the forest carrying a deer on his shoulders. The wind tugged at his clothes. The air felt uneasy, like a warning. And then he heard it, a scream so sharp it cut through the storm. He ran. At the center of the village, people gathered in panic around a mother clutching her son. The boy sat stiff and wide-eyed, mouth open, but no sound came out, not even a whisper. A bolt of lightning struck the earth just beyond the huts, close enough to shake the ground. When the flash faded, Kaelo saw a towering figure retreating into the storm, a shape with limbs like smoke and a chest glowing like molten metal. The elders gasped. "The storm god," they whispered. "He has taken the boy's voice." Kaelo looked at the boy, trembling in his mother's arms. Then he looked at the fading shape in the clouds. He did not hesitate. He dropped the deer, grabbed his spear, and shouted above the wind, "I will bring it back." Kaelo ran toward the mountains, following the thunder like a trail. Rain slapped his face. Lightning forked across the sky. The ground turned to mud beneath his feet, but he did not slow. He climbed jagged rocks as the wind tried to throw him down. Shadows moved in flashes, treetops bending, river spray rising, cliffs trembling. "Give it back," he shouted into the storm. For a moment, the rain stopped. Then a voice answered, deep as the mountains, sharp as lightning splitting a tree. "Why do you chase me, hunter?" Kaelo steadied his breath. "Because you took something that was not yours." Thunder laughed, a long, rolling sound that echoed between hills. "I take what is offered," the storm god replied. "Fear, anger, weakness, screams. These belong to me." Kaelo gripped his spear. The boy had no fear. He had no anger. "No," the storm god said, "but you do." Lightning struck so close, Kaelo fell backwards. When he recovered, the sky was empty. "Come find me," the voice whispered, "if you can." And so Kaelo chased the storm deeper into the mountains. By dawn, the storm had climbed the highest peak. Kaelo followed, bruised and soaked, until he reached a ridge overlooking a valley shaped like a vast bowl. The storm god stood in the center. He was not solid, not smoke, but something between. A shifting figure whose edges blurred with every flash of lightning. Kaelo descended with slow, careful steps. "You think yourself brave," the storm god said, "but every hunter carries fear. Come, show me yours." The valley darkened. Shapes began to rise from the ground. Shadows forming figures Kaelo recognized all too well. The boar that had wounded him as a boy. The cliff where he had once slipped and lost his brother. The river that nearly took his life in a flood. Each shape moved toward him, whispering, "You could not save me. You were not strong enough. You will fail again." Kaelo stumbled back, breath sharp and shallow. "No one leaves their fears behind," the storm god said. "They follow like shadows. They eat like fire." Kaelo dropped to one knee. Every memory hurt, every whisper cut. But then, he remembered the boy. Small hands clutching at empty air, eyes wide with confusion. a mother begging anyone to help. Kaelo rose. "You are right," he said slowly. "I fear many things." He lifted his spear. "But I fear nothing more than watching someone suffer when I can help." The shadows froze. The storm god's shape flickered. Kaelo stepped forward. "You can show me every failure, every mistake, every moment I was not enough, but I will still chase you." He drove the butt of his spear into the ground. "I will always chase you, if it means protecting someone else." For the first time, the storm god was silent. Lightning burst across the sky, blinding white. When Kaelo blinked the spots from his eyes, the valley had changed. Clouds swirled into a dome overhead. Thunder moved like a living drum, and the storm god stood taller, stronger, lightning crackling in his chest. "You speak boldly," he said. "Very well, then take your trial." The clouds descended until they touched the valley floor. Wind howled. Kaelo leaned into it step by step toward the figure. The storm god raised an arm. A bolt of lightning ripped through the air toward Kaelo. Kaelo did not run. He raised his spear like a shield, bracing for impact. The lightning struck. But instead of burning him, it split around him like water around a stone. The storm god's voice rumbled with surprise. Kaelo lowered his spear and walked closer. "The boy did nothing to you," he said. "Take my voice instead." Thunder stopped. Even the wind quieted. "You would give your voice," the storm god murmured, "for a child who is not your own." "Yes." Lightning flickered as if uncertain. "Why?" Kaelo breathed deeply. "Because a world without kindness is a world already lost, and because a voice is only sound, but a child is a future." The storm god stared, or Kaelo felt as if he did, though the face had no eyes. Slowly, the god opened his chest. Inside was a swirling sphere of wind and smoke. A stolen voice, trembling like a captive bird. Kaelo reached for it, but the storm god closed his chest again. "One last answer, Hunter." Lightning crackled through the clouds. "What do you fear most?" Kaelo met the storm's gaze. "That I will live in a world when no one stands up for each other." Thunder rolled. Then, silence. The storm god bowed his great flickering head. "You have faced me without running. You have faced yourself without breaking. Take what you seek." His chest opened once more. The sphere drifted toward Kaelo's hands and dissolved into a soft breath of wind. Far away, faint but clear, Kaelo heard a child's first cry. The boy's voice had returned. Kaelo lowered his spear. "Thank you," he said. The storm god's form shimmered. "I am not your enemy, Hunter. Storms test what is weak, but they also reveal what is strong." Thunder rippled gently, like a mountain-sized sigh. "You chase storms," the god said, "because you carry one inside yourself. But now, you control it." Lightning split the clouds above in a calm, luminous spiral. "When storms come to your village again," the god continued, "remember, they do not always come to destroy. Sometimes they come to shape." And just like that, the storm lifted, clouds scattered, sunlight poured across the valley. The storm god was gone. Kaelo descended the mountain with slow, tired steps. The world smelled of wet earth and clean air. When he reached the village, the boy ran to him, laughing, shouting, singing. His mother wept into Kaelo's hands. People gathered, calling Kaelo a hero. But Kaelo only shook his head. "I am a hunter," he said softly. "I only followed what needed to be followed." That night, children asked him, "Will the storm god return?" Kaelo looked at the mountains, where distant thunder murmured like a memory. Yes, he said. But storms do not return because they are angry. They return because they are alive. He turned to the children and smiled. And so are we. Some say that when storms gather in the deep hours of night, Kaelo still walks to the edge of the village and listens, not out of fear, but out of respect. For every storm has a voice. Every voice carries truth, and every truth waits to be heard.